What is up, people of YouTube? I'm your host Vernon. This is Cold Creek Pond. Let's fish that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on the 8th of November, 4 of the ponds here in Vegas actually got stocked with some trout. So it is officially the start of the trout season. And there's a particular pond where I like to fish early in the season because we don't want to be fishing out here when there's snow around. And it seems to be a popular spot. The little pond is rather busy today, lots of people around, so I'll see what footage I can get out there. Now, as a South African, trout fishing is rather exciting to me. We don't have lots of trout in our ponds and lakes back in South Africa, so it's exciting to get some trout, but I don't just want to throw out my fly rods out there and show you guys all the trout I'm catching. I want the video to be informative as well. For that reason, I'm going to be making a bit of a different video focusing on some bobbers. Now, one of the people watching my videos quite recently posted that they used little waxworms when fishing this pond, and I thought I wanted to do the same, as it's something that I've not fished that much with. And I remember earlier this year when we went ice fishing with John Brown up in Utah. Of course, there's no ice around here, but I want to do something kind of similar where we can have these little wax worms dangle in the middle of the water column, and no better way to do that than using a little bobber. Alright, so let's talk about bobbers. Basically, any starter kit you will buy, you're going to get a variety of bobbers in. It's a great way for people to start fishing because bobbers suspend your baits out of the grass. So most people actually start fishing with little bobbers like this. They do, of course, come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. I like the little foam ones with the little lead weight. It helps for some casting distance, and you get some different looking bobbers. But if you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know that I actually don't like using bobbers, especially in super clear water like this. The fish can actually see the bobbers, and therefore they won't go for whatever lure or bait you have out there. If they're afraid of the thing on top of the water that might grab them, they will not go for the baits. So my solution to this is by using a little see-through bobber like this. This one you can actually fill with water, giving you extra casting distance. So I would rather recommend something like this, especially when fishing super clear water. When fishing murky water, any old bobber will do. So the great thing about a bobber is it can get you out into the deeper water and suspend your baits out in the air, so that it's not on the ground or not in between the grass. So there are advantages to using some bobbers. Even if you don't have something like a fly rod, you can always use a bobber to fish with flies. But for today, I'm going to be using a tiny little ice fishing jig. This is one that I got from John way back. I'm going to use that today. We're going to put our little mealworms on there, cast them out, have them suspended in the water, and see whether we can get any trout like that. Alright, so I've been using these little mealworms. They stay on the hook pretty well. I had only one take where the bobber went down. Tried to set the hook, but I think the hook was not in the fish's mouth. These are smaller fish than I thought. Quickly going to swap over to some power baits. Let's see if we can manage to get one. Alright, so these little stock trout tend to school together. At the moment they're in the middle of the pond, which means the access to the fish is rather restricted. Quite a lot of people out here today fishing, so I'm giving up on the little bobber, trying to find the fish up close. I feel it's too pressured out there today, so I'm swapping over to some bottom rigs with some power baits. Let's see if we can get on a fish. Alright guys, finally got this little one on the power baits. Luckily he didn't swallow the hook, it's just to the side of his mouth. We're just going to get the hook out. While we're quickly waiting for the forceps to remove the little hook, this lovely little rainbow we got in here reminds me of a story. This is from the Nevada Department of Wildlife. They actually have a section where they teach children to fish. They have a little fish tank and they grow some trout in that fish tank. And Cold Creek Pond is actually the pond that they once a year release the little trout that they have from their tank. But this one with the vibrant colors, don't think that's one of the little tank fish. This is probably one of the little stockers. There we go, hook's out. So we can release this little trout. Not looking to keep any today. And off he goes. Alright, so these first stock trout tend to love the power baits. It doesn't matter what flavor power baits, it seems. We've been catching them on different power baits every time. We've been catching them on different power baits every time. So it doesn't seem to matter which flavor, but they seem to prefer the power baits. Just putting my power baits on the hook in a little ball shape like that and casting it out. Alright guys, the wife is also on a fish. Lovely jump from that fish. This one is hooked in the bottom lip so we can release him quite easily. Lovely colors on these stock trout. Let's quickly show the fish to someone.
Yeah. Putting it back.
Yes, alright guys, we'll get this one back in the water. And there it goes. Alright, so the wife is on her second little trout. Another decent sized stock trout. Alright, so we got the hook out of this one. He looks to be fine, so we're going to release this one. And there he goes. And there we go, another one for the wife. Alright, so this one completely swallowed the hook. It seems like when they take the hook, they take it in very deep, so we're not going to release this one. Alright, so because we cannot release this one, we got him on the stringer. Nice jump from this one. Also using my fly rod at the moment, but not getting any action on the flies. But the power baits seem to be working well. But I don't like using the power baits because the fish tend to swallow the hook. But let's quickly get this one out of the water. This one is actually hooked in the side of his lip, so no problem with releasing this one. So, lovely little trout. Lovely colours on him, and there he goes.
See the fishy! I see it! You got him! You got him!
Alright guys, there we go.
Daddy, they caught him!
Another little rainbow. You can see these ones, all of their fins have been snipped. This one also swallowed the hook, so quickly going to get the forceps. Alright guys, you can see this one's bleeding quite a lot. That's because it swallowed the hook, so we're keeping this one so we can have some trout for dinner. There we go guys, another tiny little trout.
give them to Vernon? You'll
It's
use it for the
living.
You'll use it for the fish if you give it to him.
So this one is also bleeding already, so we're going to have to keep this one. Alright, so another lovely little trout. Quickly going to get this one on the stringer, then I'm going to stop using the power bait. I think we have enough for dinner, so I'm not going to catch any more fish on power baits. Alright, ladies and gents, we had a pretty good time out there. All in all, we caught 4 fish that we are going to be taking home. We weren't planning on taking any fish. These were the fish that got hooked and they were going to die in any case, so we're taking them home for dinner. Because the season just started, I wanted to release these fish back so we can try and extend the duration of our trout season. But it is better to keep the fish that are going to die. You don't want dead fish in the water. Now, I would like to point out that across Nevada, you're only allowed to keep 5 trout per licensed angler. Please note that places like Floyd Lamb and Sunset Park, it's only 3. The different parks have their own rules. It's only 3 for there. And I do want to make a call on all anglers. If you catch your 5 daily trout, please don't be inconsiderate and try and stay around for as long as possible. Especially when these fish are schooled up together like this, the amount of space the other anglers have to fish in is quite limited. So if you have your daily 5, consider packing up and opening up some space for some other anglers. This is exactly what we're doing. We caught our daily limits. We're not keeping all the fish. We released some of them. And for that reason, we are not fishing anymore, opening up the space for someone else to go and try out our spot. Now, of course, I started this video with the little bobbers. It was something new I wanted to try and see whether I can catch any fish on that. I did not succeed at that at all. Even on the fly line, as soon as there's something on top of the water, the fish seemed scared. When using a little strike indicator, the fish didn't want to go for my flies as well. But these are early season trout. They do love power baits still. So getting out there early with some power baits, you're going to catch quite a few fish. But alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. Please do give me a little thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Feel free to ask any questions down below in the comments. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, hit the big red subscribe button. It will say subscribed and be grayed out. But I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.